Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to Royal Clan in ClanGen, the Warrior Cats clan generated game. When we left off in the previous episode, we had some new royal apprentices, which was very exciting because obviously whenever we have age ups, it is very thrilling for us, and they all actually had really exciting patrols going out. I think one of them came across a big dog. Thankfully everyone got away safely. The other two apprentices went on a patrol together, I think a smaller patrol that didn't have their mentors with them, and they came across a two-leg who was trying to get rid of an old cat of his, which we kind of rescued and helped bring into Servant Clan, so that was all very exciting. But we are going to continue onwards in this episode and see what the clan gets up to next. So diving... Guys, look at that! We are officially in an age of peace because we have 5 allies. Every single independent cat group within our forest has become an ally, and therefore we are in an age of peace, which is wonderful news, and that means Fernstar is forever going to be known as the king and cat who helped bring about Royal Clan's first ever age of peace in the forest, which is amazing. But let's roll the dice and see how he's going to handle the next gathering. Okay, we got a 3 on the D10, which is Lai Clan, and we got an 8 on the D8. So obviously he's starting off this age of peace with some praises. Now let's go ahead and skip a moon to see what happens. We don't have any birth and death notices. But before the gathering officially starts, Lai Clan's leader and Fernstar, King Fernstar, bend their heads together to gossip like starlings. Lai Clan relations have improved. Oh no. Fernstar, King Fernstar has gotten white cough. Crowpels, the king's right hand, has gotten yellow cough. Smokewater Snakebite has healed, thank goodness, and Flare Freckle has finally warmed up and is no longer shivering. Okay, so our breeding pair, Smokewater and Flare Freckle, are okay, but Fernstar, the king, and Crowpelt, his right hand, have gotten white cough and yellow cough, which is not good. Okay, taking a look at these guys. Yeah, so those two are not going to be able to go out on patrols. So we'll have to see what sort of arrangements they make for their apprentices. But that's what we have going on here. Everyone else seems to be good to go. Let's check up the Royal Physician's Den. Smokewater was given Tansia's treatment for snake bite, and they recovered from that. Flare Freckle was given Tansia's treatment for shivering, they recovered from that. And Buttercup Finn could not find any herbs this moon. Now let's see the relationships. King Fernstar noticed that Pale Paw is falling behind in training and offered to help him catch up. That's actually very nice of him because I think we identified that Pale Paw has the most disadvantaged because his mentor is the least experienced out of everyone. But that's actually very nice that King Fernstar is going out of his way to help the apprentice of his former apprentice. Oh, that's so nice. King Fernstar thinks Firepaw, his own apprentice, was nice to him today, so they're getting along quite well. Crowpelt divides Shadepaw into extra patrols. Okay, interesting. Crowpelt and Icicle Speck chat about clan news. Scorchmoss and Firepaw work together to make sense of something a clanmate said. Scorchmoss saw Firepaw being considerate, so some mother-daughter bonding time. Very nice. Icicle Speck sees a clanmate complimenting Flare Freckle and feels a pang of envy. Flailstorm and Icicle Speck debate about something interesting. Though they disagree, they stay amicable. Flailstorm thinks that Shining Stripe smells nice today. Smokewater promises to teach Firepaw a new technique later. Shining Stripe surprises Smokewater with something nice. Buttercup Finn and Fernstar, King Fernstar, know more about each other than anyone else. Oh my goodness, guys. We also, in the last episode, were noticing a little bit of something starting between the Royal Physician Buttercup Finn and King Fernstar. And it seems as though they're continuing to get to know each other. So that's something for us to keep an eye on as well. I find it so interesting how Fernstar, this whole time he's been having a thing with like Watergale and Smokewater, and I know a bunch of you guys are actually really looking forward to Fernstar and Smokewater finally getting together, but then they were torn apart. and now it seems they're on completely different tracks. But how wild that it seems as though he's now actually putting effort into Buttercup Finn, and it, for now, looks as though these two might end up being a thing very unexpected, not something I saw coming. A clanmate that Buttercup Finn wanted to get to know better is already friends with Shadepaw. Shining Stripe apologizes to Firepaw, but Firepaw doesn't know why. Flarefreckle asks Flailstorm to look at a little cut on her leg. Bearpelt and Flailstorm splash each other in a puddle, but it doesn't look playful. Firepaw sees a glimmer of determination in her brother Shadepaw's eyes. Shadepaw watches Crowpelt, the king's right hand, wind up for a sneeze, but it never happens. Palepaw and Flailstorm notice a cloud is shaped like a mouse. And that's all we have for events. So it was very interesting. We saw some mentors kind of spending time with apprentices that weren't their own. I suppose that goes into maybe arrangements that they've made between each other to help share knowledge and, different teaching techniques. But okay, that's all we have for events. Let me cut the recording here and we'll continue with the cat list. Okay, let's go ahead and continue with the cat list. First up, we have loyalties, where nothing has actually changed. So yeah, no new things to report here. Nothing new to report relationship-wise between anyone, friendship-wise between anyone. So we can dive straight into matchmaking. So let's go ahead and see, where is it? We have Flarefreckle and Smokewater. So the last mediation, which was the first one, actually went really well together, and Scorchmoss, the matchmaker, was feeling very proud at her first day working in the king's court. Let's go ahead and see if we can continue a positive climb with these two in terms of their romance. So let's see how this mediation session goes. Guys, romantic interest, trust has increased, dislike and jealousy has decreased, and look at that. All it took was a little bit of effort from Flarefreckle and attention from Flarefreckle when Smokewater was recovering from his snake bite and following his snake bite, probably just checking in on him and asking him how he's feeling now that he's better. And Smokewater has fallen in love with Flarefreckle. This is, yes, he was faithful to Ferntail before Ferntail became the new king for a long time, and he was he had his attention on Fernstar for a long time, but he never actually was in love. He never got the chance to fall in love with Fernstar. And for the first time in his life, guys, Smokewater has fallen in love, and it is with Flarefreckle, and I am so happy for him. Now, Flarefreckle, also, the more she's getting to know Smokewater, is seeing him as someone she wants to have a litter with, so she's really happy with this match as well. I mean, she was very unsure in the beginning when she was, before she knew who her partner was going to be. She didn't know if she would get along with him, if they would be compatible, but the more she's been getting to, and it was a very slow, stagnant start, but the more she's getting to know Smokewater, the more she kind of likes what she sees. So I am really happy. I'm really happy for him, guys. And this does count as, Smokewater having his first friend, because he considers Flarefreckle not only as the cat he's in love with, but his first friend. And I love that. Okay, so this was massively amazing. Now let's go ahead and see what everyone is doing for the day. Fernstar helps out around camp in between his duties. Crowpelt is amused by the antics of the younger cats. Buttercup Finn is giggling about clan drama with friends. I think I know the drama she's giggling about. I think she probably heard from the matchmaker that Smokewater has fallen in love with her daughter. That's right, her daughter Flarefreckle, and I think Buttercup Finn finds that very, very cute and funny and entertaining. So she's giggling about that. That's the clan drama that she's giggling about, her daughter's love life, essentially. Scorchmoss is negotiating with a kitty pet to make use of the hubs in their two-leg garden. Flailstorm tries to set a good example for younger cats. Icicle Speck can't find Bearpelt anywhere. Bearpelt startles Flarefreckle to get back at her for something or other. Bearpelt. Really Bearpelt. You have to prank your sister like that. Flarefreckle bounces around the territory on a border patrol. Shining Stripe missed a catch and is still sulking over it. That's not very mentally of you. your apprentices are watching. Firepaw seems to be ordering her fellow apprentices around. I mean, she is having a different sort of training to her brothers. She's having more of a political training from the king himself, and she's ambitious and she's confident with her words, so I can totally see Firepaw trying to order around her younger brothers. Shadepaw hopes to get a scar from battle. Palepaw tries to do too much at once and defeatedly asks King Fernstar for help, which is very cute. And yeah, Shadepaw, look at him. Look at him. He wants a scar from battle. You were too young for this. You are too young for this. He was like causing fights with his younger brother in the last moon, and now he's wanting to get a scar from battle. I think he was way too excited in his patrol. Smokewater, meanwhile, thinks about going on a little jaunt outside of camp. And also, we can start looking at rankings for the youngsters to see like who's doing the best. And I think we discussed that Firepaw has the advantage because her mentor has the most experience, and Palepaw has a disadvantage because his mentor is the least experienced. So let's see who's actually the best of their batch right now. And it's Palepaw. Oh my goodness. Palepaw, whose mentor has the least experience, guys, has actually managed to become the best of his batch so far. We'll have to see how this continues, but it makes me so happy, you know, my favorite cat or kitten is like doing the best, doing so well. It makes me so proud. But Palepaw has 9 experience, and Firepaw has 7, Shadepaw has 7. Okay, so his siblings are basically tied at second place, but Palepaw is ahead of them just by a smidge. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Palepaw was actually getting training from the king himself. He was! Look at that! Fernstar, the king. I wonder if Firepaw might be a little bit mad, but her mentor was actually giving some private tutoring to Palepaw because he noticed that Palepaw was falling behind. I think that's actually very, very, very sweet of Fernstar to go ahead and, you know, give a little bit of help to someone who's not even his own apprentice, but at the end of the day, he's looking out for all of the royal youngsters, right? Okay, so that was very, very fascinating to me. But okay, let's go ahead, cut the recording here, and continue with patrols. Let's resume with our patrols. We currently have 40 prey, we need 31, so we don't have to worry about food. Whereas our royal physician, Buttercup Finn, on you go into the forest outside the grotto. It's not finding fresh juniper, that's the problem. That's exciting. She loves juniper. Juniper's her favorite, and I say that because she has a juniper accessory, and I am hereby, like from now on, just gonna consider cats who, like, whatever accessory they have is going to be, like, their favorite thing. That's their favorite herb, just hands down, right? And if it's not a herb, if it's feathers, then that's it. They like feathers. But like in this case, juniper is her favorite. So I feel like every time she goes out to gather juniper, like this is the most exciting patrol that can happen to her as a royal physician. As an evergreen plant, juniper is known to grow reliably even in the cold seasons. The problem is that juniper grows in large shrubs sometimes large enough to be literal trees. Climbing in these slippery conditions is a disaster just waiting to happen. At least, she doesn't have to dig through the snow for these leaves. Buttercup Finn sighs, slowly and carefully snipping off juniper among the tree's branches. So juniper was gathered. Ah, wonderful. Feel very happy for her. And now we have our patrols. We're going to have a patrol of 6 and a patrol of 2. So let's see what arrangements are going to be made. We also have 2 of the mentors who are currently down. So we have... Actually, no, just 1 mentor. My bad. Only the king is down. So let's see what arrangement he makes. Okay. So, apparently, guys, Flailstorm has decided that, unlike the previous moon, he is going to keep Shadepaw with him. And the king has made an arrangement for his apprentice, Firepaw, to be under the supervision of Shining Stripe. And so Shining Stripe has decided that to cater to Firepaw, he is going to send his apprentice, Palepaw, to learn from Icicle, so like, you know, get experience from a different cat. I don't think he would be under like strict supervision of Icicle Spec, because the way I like to imagine things is that the mentors only give supervision of their apprentices to other mentors within the same patrol, But if they send their apprentices with like a non-mentor cat, then the idea is their apprentice is sticking with that cat and just learning from that cat. But like, for example, Icicle Spec doesn't have a responsibility to teach or look over Palepaw. The onus is on Palepaw to observe and learn. Whereas with Shining Stripe, he is actively supervising Firepaw as a mentor. So I hope that makes sense, but that's kind of the way I imagine things in my head. So let's send these guys out, and then we have Bear Pelt and Flare Freckle on that patrol. Let's see what they get up to. The patrol meets Storm Clan, a clan they consider to be allies at the border. Proceed. Though the patrol stops to chat, the other patrols seem standoffish and cold. After a stilted attempt at conversation, the two patrols part and go their way. It seems as though your alliance with Storm Clan is weakening, so relations with Storm Clan have worsened. So that was not as exciting of a patrol as I think Shadepaw and Firepaw were wanting. Particularly Shadepaw, he wanted a battle scar. He didn't get a battle here. It was more of a diplomatic patrol. But, well, at least they got some different exposure. Then we have Palepaw and Icicle Spec going out, so let's see what they get up to. Some hunting! It starts snowing soon after the patrol sets out, trying to bring back something, anything, for the fresh kill pile. Proceed. Despite the snow, the patrol manages to hunt successfully, finding mice underneath the leaf litter. Only a couple, but in this season, that's more than enough to count as a success. As Icicle Spec leads the way home, a sense of security and competence drives them onwards. So Icicle Spec, I feel like, led very well over here, and Palepaw no doubt learned quite a bit in hunting in the snow in these conditions. So that was really good. And now we have 48 prey, which is wonderful. So that's what our cats managed to get up to today. I think it was quite successful for us. But okay guys, with that said and done, I'm going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.